All right, good afternoon, guys. I'm not going to go through some of the roster moves. I know we've kind of posted those, announced those, but really it's a very important day for us preparation-wise, getting back on the grass, and we got to go to work. We got a lot of things that either need to be more consistent or flat out improved upon, and that's top to bottom. So looking forward to getting a chance to do that.
Kevin, how much more is that consistency when there is the flux with all the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's every team in some capacity is dealing with adversity either by injury, early season performances and the reactions to those. You have to understand a couple things. You have to understand it's part of it, and you have to have the guys willing to step up and step into roles. And as you get guys back, you feel like you can get a shot of enthusiasm and energy from that as well. And then you got to figure out the best way to play to win, each and every game as its own. And that's exactly what we're going to try to do.
Kevin, excuse me, a couple days later, do you have any more sense of the severity of JJ's ankle injury?
Yeah, he's responding well early on to treatment and things, and he's in a boot and kind of letting that thing settle down when he's not getting treatment. Still heavily involved in meetings and installs and everything. Had great energy and enthusiasm to kind of attack it in any way he can for now, and that'll be able to build and progress from there. But yeah, he's still in the early stages of it as he kind of I know from a standpoint of some of the things we were hoping early on. We've seen some of that, and it'll continue hopefully.
Hey, Kevin, what's your plan at backup quarterback?
Yeah, Matt, Carson will start. Max is the backup. We brought, with the rules being what they are, and with the emergency third quarterback, we wanted to, have one based upon, just the early aspect of our season. We're pretty deep into some position groupings as it is, so we wanted to make sure we could at least get a guy that's played before, and Desmond had a great workout, and have known about him and a lot, having gone back to evaluating him coming out, and he's been on his journey, and it's just good to get him in, and he'll be that emergency number 3 on Sunday, and I'm sure he'll do a great job getting some sort of a limited menu together that he feels good about. But yeah, excited for Carson to get a full week of preparation, and the way Max has been preparing, being 2 snaps away, will probably only be enhanced, and there's not much more room he can grow from a preparation standpoint other than the physical reps that would come with it. So those guys are both here for a reason, and now Desmond's here because he was a guy we identified as being a guy, if we get to that scenario, we felt like it would be good to have a veteran guy that's still young and growing as a player, but can step in and execute if called upon.
Along those lines, do you see what do you see behind Jordan Mason at running back? Do you think Xavier Scott would be next in, or Cam Akers?
Yeah, I think Zay Scott's been a guy we've been pretty darn excited about, and just ended up in that last preseason game, in which what I think would have been kind of the exclamation point on what was a great training camp for him. So we're excited. He's healthy. He's ready to kind of absorb some of that loss of such an impactful player like Aaron Jones. And Jordan clearly has already, shown his ability to be a heavy runner, yards after contact, all those things. And the encouraging thing, like we expected about him, was going to be the multi-facet to his game, from some of the great clips we've seen of pass protection to, catching the football, whatever it may be. We've got a pretty, I'm not sure we could have more confidence in Jordan as a potential kind of bell cow kind of back. And then knowing we've got the skill set of Zay, and then getting a chance to bring Cam back here as well, somebody who's familiar with our offense clearly, and we'll work through what that game day is going to look like with all the different ways we can get to that 48.
I know hamstrings are always tricky, but do you hope or plan to have Aaron back after the 4 games, or is it?
I think it's probably too early for me to say. it's Aaron Jones, so I'm always going to have the confidence he's going to do everything right. We've got a great staff around him, and we've got that time and place as part of that designation for a reason, and can't wait to get him back.
You touched on it on Monday, but Carson stepping into that practice last week as the number one guy, just how much could you take away from that as you kind of ramped him up this week?
Yeah, but specifically being like Thursday, the third down day, there's some things, every week, that come up. The Falcons had some things that we had to prepare for that maybe we saw, maybe we didn't necessarily see with how the game played out, but you just kind of felt that poise and presence even from the walkthrough to the practice, and it just kind of felt like a kind of a normal day, and I think the execution and kind of how I was pushing the group, looking for the growth from game 1 to game 2 from a procedural standpoint before the ball's ever snapped, huddle, alignment, landmarks, emotions, and details of things. His ability to absorb all that and then run the show was apparent to everybody, and I think you got a guy that. I was, telling the team today, you've got a guy that's played at a really high level, played a lot of football, and ultimately is at a place in his career where I think you can really tap into a lot of that while also shaping a game plan that he's comfortable with and he can go out and have consistent success, because that's, really what our whole team needs right now is just in all three phases. Can we do the things, schematically that we need to do? And there's going to be, some adjustments made to fit with the personnel and what we think is best to win this game this week. And then ultimately, can we play complementary football, I think is the big thing, because it's never going to be, it's hard in this league to ever go, 4 quarters, just capture the momentum and keep it. That's why there's so many close games. But I think we can do a lot more by eliminating some of the self-inflicted things that are happening before we really give ourselves a chance to capture, keep, and possibly grow the momentum. So that's where our minds are, and it really the only focus right now is today, because we get a great opportunity to go out there today, and by the time we leave here, we need to feel like we've clearly demonstrated we're on our way to improving, and then how can we have laser focus on tomorrow and really use what is now, we're coming off of a shorter week last week, chance to turn over, chance to have a normal game week, and a 12 o'clock game at US Bank Stadium in front of our fans is absolutely what's needed right now, but we've got to have the type of performance that our fans deserve.
Kevin, how much is this week is about physical corrections and how much is between the ears pep talk, lifting a team up after the injuries and how they played?
Yeah, part of the reason why you're ultimately, two things, which is consistent and authentic, is the only way I know how to operate. That means when you do need to, hold either the team, our coaches, or most importantly myself accountable, I think it comes off to our team as authentic and real, because I'm the same person every day, maybe not the same version of, from a standpoint of, I guess you could call it intensity, but it's really not that. It's just about being real, speaking truth, demanding kind of what we need to do as a team early on in this season. Well, I understand, and we all understand exactly where we're at right now, and where we need to get to. So there is a level of that, but at the same time, there is very simple do your job, traits to some of the things that have caused us to kind of slow down or not get started when we need to, and we need to start there. If we start there and see some of that, regardless of the opponent, and every opponent is a challenge, if we do some of those little things and just have, there's been evidence of it, of all 11 guys doing their job, and then it feels at times like a wow moment, but it's just what our offense should look like, depending on if you're talking to run and pass. It's what our defense should look like when we're applying the physicality with great technique and fundamentals to set edges, defeat blocks, play the cutback, and tackle. It starts to clear whatever haze may exist in or out of this building about what we are, and all we're really focused on is what's happening in the walls of this building right now and how